Greetings all, my name is Kontrol. I'm a professional artist, a fan of classic comics, and avid gamer. Thank you so much for jumping on this latest Let's Draw. This time, well, a legend who needs no introduction, but is getting one anyway. A hero that is easily among the top pantheon of fictional characters in pop culture history. A figure so instantly recognizable, he has become the visual trademark of Marvel Comics. Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood, etc., etc., etc. You know him. You love him. He is...
Kontrol! I thought this channel was devoted to fan art based on video games. How'd Spider-Man get in the mix?
Well, for your information, mysterious disembodied voice, Spider-Man has appeared in more video games than Mario.
Really?
How the hell should I know? He's been in a lot, okay? Let's check the web. See what I did there? Web. Because it's Spider-Man, right? Okay. Check out this list. Wow. My point here is Spidey is a board certified video game character. Or my name's not Kontrol. And it isn't. Exclusive tip from Kontrol Incorporated. If you're ever on a game show and the mustachioed host asks, who is Kontrol's favorite superhero? Answer, Spider-Man. For cash and fabulous prizes. And hey, we're both from Queens. By the way, they don't pluck just anyone from the comic pages to appear in over 30 video games. Last time I checked, no one is leveling up Savage Dragon for a final boss confrontation. Spider-Man is kind of a big deal. Even if the writers of Avengers Endgame seem to think he's as important as Batmite. Don't get me started on that subject. Fat Thor, Nerd Hulk, really?
Kontrol!
Okay, who swapped out the creative team from Infinity War and replaced them with interns from the CW?
Kontrol!
Sitting through that 3-hour plus funeral dirge was like watching Portuguese infomercials while
Kontrol! We've talked about this. Focus on the positive. Like Spider-Man, Far From Home.
Okay, that sucked too, but I see your point. I can vent about bad entertainment on my second channel. Although, I'm thinking about switching it to Kontrol Incorporated. And this video isn't about Spider-Man movies or comics, it's about the game. And I mean the game. Spider-Man 2018 from Insomniac, which this pinup is totally based on. Sure, the casual observer might conclude that this pinup is just an old art recording, with a new voiceover to fill the space between the Destiny series I'm currently working on, and that a pinup based on the PS4 game would obviously use the new costume with the white spider emblem. It's why I hate casual observers. Okay, let's not get bogged down in the true origins of this drawing and my obvious treachery. The God's honest truth is, I did play the latest Spider-Man game from Insomniac, complete with all the Hammerhead DLC stuff, which got a little weird, but it's good. Nowadays, when any new Spider-Man material is released, fans are asked to embrace an entirely new version of the classic hero. I'm not entirely sure why this is, but every writer or team of writers clearly thinks Stan and Steve didn't quite know what they were doing. So, over the last couple of decades, we've seen a Peter Parker who fires web secretions from his flesh, or has his costume prepared for him by a 40-something Aunt May. Yeah, the tweaks to Spidey aren't nearly so egregious in the game, though. Most are just obvious and necessary nods to gaming tropes, like an outrageous array of gadgets and ever-increasing abilities and wardrobe options. Spider-Man's rule against killing remains the thing. In theory, it seems to me that being smashed in the dome by a manhole cover would probably require a closed coffin at the funeral. I mean, I don't even think the corpse would be identifiable. But hey, video games, am I right? Spidey's personality feels about right. He's pure of heart, loyal, the constant stream of jokes that borders on the pathological. I find it a little ridiculous that someone with his brains and talent would still be struggling to pay rent at age 23. But not a big deal. New Aunt May is clearly older than Marissa Tomei, but now a capable and active member of society. Otto Octavius broke into Dr. Kurt Connor's lab and stole his storyline and character, which is actually way less annoying than Mary Jane becoming Lois Lane. Wait a minute. The supermodel is off-model. Whoa. Mind blown. Alright, get out of here. The story is mostly about a supervillain called Mr. Negative, aka the original name for this YouTube channel. Mr. Negative wants to punish Mayor Osborn. Yeah, you heard that right. For killing his parents or something. I don't know. I didn't care at the time, and I still don't. Otto Octavius hates Mayor Osborn too, for cutting into his mad science budget. All this voter's remorse leads to mass amounts of mayhem, which culminates in the entire city being poisoned by toxic villain gas. It's all plotted around the obvious goal of getting most of Spidey's rogues gallery into the fray. Shocker, Electro, Kingpin, Rhino, Scorpion, Vulture. Am I leaving someone out? And of course, the now inevitable Miles. All the pieces of the story serve the pacing of the game perfectly. Each villain and their henchmen require alterations to your approach. Sadly, the ball is dropped at the very end with a bit of forced melodrama that doesn't match the tone or the themes of the game. Apparently, at least one person on the writing staff is convinced video games need more pathos. Then ran the script through a free pathos app that tacked on a corny ending. I think the same app decided Captain America's fate in Avengers Endgame. Worst 30-day free trial ever. Okay, so an ending as dodgy as Spider-Man the game would have killed a movie and desecrated the body. Fortunately, we're dealing with an action video game, so the overall product managed to survive the narrative injury. The combat and graphics are about as good as these things get. So much so that I think this game will be still considered beautiful and highly playable a decade from now. And certainly the definitive take on how Spidey's abilities are translated into gameplay form. Much like the Arkham Batman series. Rocksteady broke down the Batman mythos to its purest essence. Hour-long urban tank battles. Yep. Well, would you look at that? You've made it all the way to the end. A true sign of keen intellect and noble spirit. Or maybe you were sitting too far away from the computer to switch to the puppy meets cat video you meant to click on. If you fall into category 1, thank you so much for watching. If you fall into category 2, start the video over, watch carefully for the appearance of a funny cat, and you're welcome. Jokes aside.
What jokes?
Shut up! This channel is obviously new, but there are new pinups and commentary in the pipeline. Please help this place look alive by clicking that like button, which is in convenient proximity to the subscribe button, which could also use some love. Drop a comment below too, and let me know how you think this channel's coming along. And feel free to suggest a game you'd like to see illustrated here. That's right. Customer service in the house. Control out.